What's up, sewing friends? Today we're going to talk about how to change the length of your pattern. So if you're working on a shirt, a blouse, or a tunic like this pattern I have here, and you need to shorten or lengthen your pattern, stay tuned. I'm Katrina from KatrinaKCreations.com, where I teach plus size women how to sew for their curves. And just so you know, I used to totally ignore those lengthen and shorten lines on my pattern pieces when I first started sewing. So let me ask you, when you shorten or lengthen your pattern, do you do it at the hem or do you use the lengthen and shorten lines? Let me know in the comments. And while you do that, I'm going to go over to my table and we're going to get started. First, we're going to lengthen our pattern. And for the purpose of this video, I'm only using the bottom portion of my pattern. This is my back pattern piece, and as you can see, it has a curved hem. So this is a perfect example of when not to add or subtract length at the hem of your pattern. The tools you're going to need are a ruler, pattern paper, a pen or pencil. I'm using a pen so you can see what I'm doing. A tracing wheel with a serrated edge, tape, and a French curve. To lengthen our pattern, we're going to have to cut it apart. Most pattern companies label their lengthen and shorten lines, and there's usually two of them. So it doesn't matter which one you choose, but you're going to cut directly on that line. Now we're going to put the bottom portion aside while we work on the top part. Now we're going to place an extra piece of pattern paper underneath our pattern and we're going to tape it down. You should have determined how much longer you want to make your pattern. So let's say, for example, you want to make it 1 inch longer. So now you're going to draw a line parallel to your length and shorten line that equals the amount that you want to add, which in this case is 1 inch. So if you wanted to add 3 inches to your pattern, for example, then your line would be 3 inches away from your length and shorten line. Next, you want to grab the bottom portion of your pattern, but before we try to match everything up, we're just going to extend the fold line of our pattern piece so that it'll make it a little bit easier to match everything up. In fact, you can take that line down even further than I drew it because that'll make it even easier to match everything up. So now we're going to attach our bottom portion by matching the line that we drew 1 inch away and also making sure that the fold lines also match. The side seams are not going to match, so don't worry about that. And it's a good idea to use pattern weights to keep everything in place while you tape things down so nothing will shift. Now we want to grab our French curve and we want to fix our side seam. That's if your side seam has a curve. If your side seam is straight, then of course you want to grab your ruler to fix your side seam. For this example, I use my back pattern piece, so I would also go in and do the same alteration on my front pattern piece. Now I'm going to show you how to shorten your pattern using those same lengthen and shorten lines. And for this example, I'm using my front pattern piece. First, we have to fold our pattern on our lengthen and shorten line. And again, it doesn't matter which line you choose. Before I do that, I'm going to trace over the line with this tracing wheel that has a serrated edge. What that's going to do is add perforation to the line to make the line easier to fold directly on. So first I'm going to place my cutting mat underneath my pattern piece, and then I'm going to use my tracing wheel and just trace the line. You want to make sure you trace directly on the line, so just slowly trace it and smooth out your pattern as you go. When you're done tracing, then you're ready to fold. When you're done folding, just make sure your line is creased really good and make sure everything is laying flat. So this time I want to subtract 1 inch from my pattern piece. So you would subtract the amount that you need to shorten your pattern. So I want to draw a line 1 inch from my folded edge. Now I actually made a mistake and drew it 1 inch away from the line beneath my folded edge. Don't do that. Just chalk that up to me showing you what not to do. Then you're going to take your folded edge and match it to the line you just drew. And what I usually do is start in the center and work my way out. You want to also make sure you match up your center front fold line. Your side seam is not going to match, but that's okay. But you make sure your center front fold line is straight. Once everything is matched up, then you want to make sure you crease it real good so that everything lays flat. Then you can use pattern weights to hold it down to stop it from shifting as you tape it in place. And once everything is taped in place, you want to fix your side seam. And that's how you shorten the length of your pattern. I have a handy step-by-step guide of everything that we talked about in this video that you can download. Just go to katrinakcreations.com/change length. And if you're watching this on YouTube, the link is also in the description below. If this video was helpful to you, I would appreciate it if you would give it a thumbs up. And if you want to be notified whenever I post new videos, subscribe to my channel by clicking the subscribe button. Thank you for watching.